Good evening, everybody. This is Claude Sullivan speaking from Memorial Coliseum on the campus of the University of Kentucky in Lexington. Tonight, basketball fans, the U of K Wildcats seek revenge from the Vanderbilt Commodores here in Lexington. So that you may follow the fortunes of the Wildcats on your radio, Standard Oil Company and Standard Oil dealers throughout Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi are bringing you this game and all of U of K's games at home and away over the Standard Oil Network. Well, this is the situation facing Kentucky tonight. The Southeastern Conference Championship is theirs if they can win 2 games this week and 2 more next week. The 2 big games come tonight and Saturday. The Wildcats tonight meet their sole conqueror in the conference, the Commodores of Vanderbilt. If Kentucky can vault past the Commodores tonight, they will have firm possession of second place with a record of 10 wins and 1 loss. Then, Saturday night, they could tie up the race with a victory over Alabama. And if they then should end the season tied with the Crimson Tide, the championship would go to Kentucky by virtue of their win over Alabama, the NCAA bid, rather. If Vandy should win tonight, it would virtually wrap up the title for Alabama since they hold a win over the Commodores. In the next 2 hours, much will be settled. The championship actually belongs to Alabama right now if they can continue winning. Tickets for this game have been sold for weeks, but at 8 o'clock, remaining seats in the student section will go on sale, and we understand that no one has ever been turned away from a Kentucky basketball game since they started playing in the Coliseum. So a capacity crowd will be cheering these 2 teams. Tickets have been selling for as much as $40 a pair. Vanderbilt goes into the game with the better record. The Commodores have lost only to Iowa State and Alabama. Kentucky, meanwhile, has dropped decisions to Temple, Dayton, Vanderbilt, and DePaul. Much may hinge on the loss Saturday night in Chicago, since it's feared it may have shaken the confidence of the Wildcats. After a loss of that nature, it's very nearly impossible to tell the reaction of a team. Whether it has shaken their poise will be answered shortly. In the game at Nashville last month, Vernon Hatton hit a 10-foot hook shot to narrow the Vanderbilt lead to 77-73. That was with 52 seconds to play. Then Babe Taylor, fouled by Hatton, dropped in 2 free throws. And Al Rochelle, fouled by Bill Cassidy, hit a pair to make the final score 81-73 for the Commodores. Kentucky came into the second half with a lead of 2 points, and after 6 minutes, Grawemeyer hit a 10-foot jump shot to put Kentucky in front by 4 points. Then came the Commodores. Rochelle got a crip, and Taylor a 25-foot jump shot to tie it up at 57 all. Then Gibbs hit a crip, and Rochelle 2 free throws to put Vandy on top. Calvert and Cassidy hit from the outside to tie it up at 61 all. Then came the deluge. With less than 11 minutes to go, Taylor hit a field goal and 2 free throws, and Tim got a crip to put Vanderbilt on top by 6 points, and Kentucky could never catch up. These 2 schools started their basketball rivalry back on February 22nd of 1912 and ranks as one of the oldest in the South. The Wildcats have complete control of the series with 50 victories to only 12 by the Commodores. After tonight's game with Vandy, Kentucky will play only 1 more game in Lexington. That's the March 3rd date with Tennessee to close the season. Saturday, the Wildcats play Alabama at Montgomery and return to play Georgia at the Armory in Louisville 1 week from tonight. Tonight's game can give Kentucky a chance to stop the Commodores from taking absolute control of this 1955-56 school year. Vanderbilt, you see, plastered the football team 34-0 at Nashville and then caught the basketball team last month. Not since 1926 has a school beaten Kentucky in football and then been able to take 2 basketball contests. In 1926, guess who? The Volunteers of Tennessee beat Kentucky 6-0 in football and then took 2 basketball games by scores of 19-14 and 30-21. So the Commodores have a chance tonight to pull what, well, so to speak, is the hat trick for the first time in 30 years. You know, most coaches are very superstitious. Kentucky, for instance, changed hotels for the first time in Chicago and lost for the first time in 17 games. The Wildcats have had 2 games televised this season and lost them both. Tonight there are no TV cameras, and maybe that will work in favor of Kentucky. On the other side of the fence, in football, Georgia Tech has never lost a football game that's been on national TV. The lack of TV may be on the side of the Wildcats, but Vanderbilt made no change in hotels. Again this year, they're staying at the Lafayette. That just gives you an idea of how superstitious basketball coaches and players can become. It's not confined to baseball. The Vanderbilt coach, Bob Polk, says he'll make no change in his starting lineup, which has remained pretty much the same most of the season. For the Commodores tonight, here's the way we expect the lineup. The guards to be Al Rochelle and Babe Taylor, a pair of Kentucky boys. Rochelle is a 19-year-old junior from Guthrie, Kentucky. He is 6 feet tall, weighs 165 pounds. The name is Rochelle, Rochelle. He's the number 1 scorer with 358 points, an average of 17.9 per game. The other guard is Clarence Taylor, who ironically is named for Babe Parilli, who played football at the University of Kentucky. Babe Taylor, a 21-year-old senior, is from Frankfort, Kentucky. He stands 6'1", weighs 175 pounds. In giving you those statistics, we might also mention he wears a size 14 shoe. He's number 3 in scoring, 307 points, and an average of 15-4 a game. In the pivot is Charlie Harrison, 21-year-old senior from St. Petersburg, Florida. He stands 6'7", weighs 190 pounds. He's number 5 in scoring with 225 points, an average of 11.8 a game. The forwards, Bobby Tim and Joe Gibbs. Tim, T-H-Y-M, a 19-year-old junior from St. Louis, Missouri, a pre-med student at Vanderbilt, who is 6'1", 170. He's the number 2 scorer, 16.4 average per game. Tim has scored 327. The other forward is Joe Gibbs, G-I-B-B-S, 20-year-old junior who hails from Jeffersonville, Indiana. He's the heaviest of the Commodores at 210 and stands 6'6". He's the number 4 man in scoring with 235 points, an average of 11.8 a game. Vanderbilt has won 18 while losing 2 this season. In the conference, they have 10 wins and 1 loss. The officials tonight are Clyde Castle and Jack Keys. Well, we'll have the starting lineup for Kentucky in just a moment. Right now, we'd like to remind you that nearly every Southern farmer has owned a good mule somewhere back in the past, an animal that could be counted on for dependable service day in and day out, and it always seemed to help figure in a better crop and a better profit. Nowadays, trucks and tractors pull an ever-increasing share of the load on Southern farms, but dependable performance still influences the farmer's choice. Perhaps that's why Standard Oil products, with a record of 70 years of dependable performance in Southern agriculture, continue to be the outstanding first choice of the Kentucky farmer. If a tractor is on your farm today or in tomorrow's plans, ask your Standard Oil salesman about Standard Oil farm fuels. You can rely on them with confidence of getting maximum work hours per gallon. Now here is the word from Adolph Rupp on his starters. The guards will be Jerry Calvert and Vernon Hatton. Calvert is a 20-year-old junior from Maysville. He stands 5'11" and weighs 160. His biggest night in scoring was at Knoxville against Tennessee when he scored 24. He's the number 4 man in scoring with 243 points, an average of 12.1 a game. The other guard is Vernon Hatton, a 20-year-old sophomore from Lexington, a graduate of Lafayette. Hatton is 6'3", weighs 180, is the number 3 scorer on the team with 272 points, an average of 13.6 per game, and his big night was Saturday with 32 points against DePaul. In the pivot is the leading scorer, Bob Burrow, the heaviest of the Wildcats at 220, who stands 6'7". He's a 21-year-old senior from Wells, Texas. He, with 373 points, leads the Wildcats in scoring, averaging 19.6 per game. His big night was the LSU game here in the Coliseum when he scored 50. The forwards, Jerry Bird and Phil Grawemeyer. Bird is a 22-year-old senior from Corbin, stands 6'6", weighs 210, is second to Burrow in scoring. Bird has 326 points, an average of 16-3 a game. His big night was in December against Dayton when he scored 34. The farther forward is Phil Grawemeyer, the captain, 21-year-old senior from Louisville, a graduate of DuPont Manual. The tallest of the Wildcats at 6'8". Grawemeyer weighs 180. He's number 5 in scoring with 172 points, an average of 8-6 per game. His big night was in Gainesville when he scored 14 against Florida. Grawemeyer is the only one of the 10 starters on the floor tonight who is not averaging better than 11 points a game. That's the way the two teams will line up for the opening tap as a cheer gets ready to come up from across the way from the Kentucky student section. Everybody is what you might call smoked up about this one tonight. It is a tremendously important Southeastern Conference game. We noticed that the 8 Williams brothers from Barberville are here tonight in spite of some bad road conditions. 2 of the brothers, though, still were unable to make it, and yet 8 of them are here to see the game. From Corbin, Mr. and Mrs. Reuben Beard, along with Roger, Nancy, and Calvin. That's the Jerry Bird family, incidentally, and Happy Trosper also seeing this important game tonight. And from out in Paducah, Mr. James E. King told us all the folks there from the Ford companies here just in back of us in the Coliseum to see this contest. Kentucky tonight is in its white uniforms, trimmed in blue. Vanderbilt is in the black, trimmed in gold. While we wait for the meeting of the captains in the center of the court with the 2 officials, here's the way the Associated Press voted this week the top 10 in the nation. San Francisco took 86 first-place votes, 1,301 points, and held on to first place. Moving into the number 2 slot was Illinois with 1,078 points. The University of Louisville moved to number 3 this week, and we'll have the gentleman on who's guided the fortunes of the Cardinals at halftime. Peck Hickman will be with us. The number 4 team this week is Dayton, twice conquered by Louisville. Vanderbilt right now roosts in the number 5 slot. North Carolina State slipped back to number 6. The number 7 team is Alabama, replacing Kentucky, as the Wildcats have dropped back to number 8 in this week's AP poll. North Carolina is now number 9, and Temple is number 10. As the meeting of the captains occurs at court, Babe Taylor of Vanderbilt and Grawemeyer of Kentucky. The second 10 for AP finds Duke, number 11, Southern Methodist, number 12, Iowa, number 13, with Houston now 14, and UCLA 15. St. Francis, which took its first defeat Saturday night, is number 16. Holy Cross is 17th. Oklahoma City now 18th. George Washington is 19th. And Iowa State, one of 2 teams to beat Vandy, is now number 20. So that is the AP poll, with the Southeastern Conference having 3 teams in the top 8. Vanderbilt number 5, Alabama number 7, and Kentucky number 8. The meeting of the captains is just now concluding in the center of the court. And at this moment, before the start of the ball game and the opening tap, the fans here in the Coliseum are rising and to be led in prayer by Mr. Don Clark, the president of the University of Kentucky YMCA, and immediately after that, the University of Kentucky band will play our national anthem. First of all, here is Don Clark with the prayer.
Our Father, we pray that in the quest for peace, that our nation shall be directed in its course by a high sense of courage and justice. And though we may be full of doubt and fear, may our actions bolster the determination of all men in the struggle against tyranny. And Father, help us to overcome our petty prejudices and to recognize the necessity for genuine friendship with the people of all nations. Amen.
seconds, Kentucky plays Vanderbilt. And right now, let's take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
This is radio station WVLK, Lexington, 1 minute past 8.
Memorial Coliseum, Lexington, Kentucky. Vanderbilt and Kentucky. Vanderbilt breaks huddle first, and here comes Kentucky. The two centers, Bob Burrow and Charlie Harrison, each stand 6'7". They shake hands and back away from each other. Clyde Castle has moved to the far side of the floor, the referee, and is making the Kentucky cheerleaders back away from the floor and onto the canvas, some 5 feet away from the actual out-of-bounds stripe. He moves up, saying to each of them that they apparently must keep that space during the course of this important Southeastern Conference game. Number 41 in the black, Charlie Harrison, in against number 50 in the white, Bob Burrow, and here's the ball game. Burrow taps over the head of Gromeyer, and Babe Taylor hauls it in for Vandy. Up on the left side to Rochelle as the Commodores set up their double pivot, weak to the left, with Taylor out deep, pumping on the weak side to Tim. Gets away from Gromeyer, who blocks the shot from the rear. Racing in, Calvert hooks it away from Harrison. 3-on-1 fast break. Calvert all the way, missed the shot. Tapped up by Gromeyer, no good. Bird rebounds, picks it up, lays it in. And Kentucky's on top 2-0. Calvert trying to steal, missing as Taylor moves in front court for Vandy. Waves it up over his head, whips a two-handed pass to Rochelle. A fake and a break as Calvert picks up on him. He takes a fall-away jump shot, good. And Vanderbilt ties it up 2-2. Vernon Hatton stands out of bounds. Bounce into Calvert, and they talk it over, moving up the backcourt. Each team striking now. Calvert moving in, down the left side to Bird. Hatton goes right as Bird breaks, takes a shot over Tim, no good. Rebounding, Bird coming to the outside at the top rim of the circle. Down into the right corner to Gromeyer, and the pivot to Burrow. A hook, it's under the rim. Knocked down by Harrison, the ball is out of bounds. A jump ball has been called. Gromeyer at 6'8", jumping with Joe Gibbs. And Gromeyer will have 2 inches advantage. Taps to Hatton. Rochelle almost got it, and Hatton's fouled by Babe Taylor. The first personal foul of the ball game on Babe Taylor, who after Rochelle just missed, tried to knock it away from Vernon Hatton. So the first free throw of the game is coming up. One try to Vernon Hatton with the count deadlocked 2-2. Hatton sights, and here's his shot. No good. Off the back of the rim, Bird knocks it down. Can't hold it. Tim's got it in the 3-second zone for Vandy. Out to Rochelle. Incidentally, that was Kentucky's leading free throw shooter, Hatton, who missed the try. Here's Taylor. Over to Rochelle. Fakes left, comes right. Top rim of the circle, gets away from Calvert, who pulls him up at the baseline. Hooks a pass outside. Hatton almost knocked it down. Taylor scoops it up, breaks it on the free throw line, shoots short. Rebounding. Hatton knocks it down. Taylor gets it. Hatton fouled him. Unable to stop himself. Hatton has committed the first foul by a Wildcat. And Babe Taylor has a chance to put Vandy in front for the first time at the free throw line. 18 minutes, 26 seconds to play. Both Tim and Rochelle come just in backcourt in safety. As Taylor, feet close together, fires the shot good. And Vanderbilt has its first lead of the game. A bonus shot to Taylor. Calvert and Hatton are wide of the rebounding alley. Bonus shot, no good. Bird makes a beautiful slap over to Calvert, who goes down 3-2, gives to Gromeyer to Bird, under the basket. Taylor fouled him. And that is the second personal foul on Babe Taylor of the Commodores. So here in the early 1 minute and 40 seconds, Taylor has picked up 2 personal fouls. And it is Jerry Bird of Kentucky on the free throw line with a chance to tie up a 3-2 ball game. Hatton is playing just to the right and off the back rim of the circle as Bird sights, and a right-handed push, no good again. Gromeyer taps up into the air, but Harrison of Vanderbilt comes off with it. A pass into the corner to Taylor, and the Commodores have it. As Kentucky has failed at the free throw line on 2 straight occasions. Rochelle in front court to Taylor on the right side and deep. In the pivot, a high one to Harrison. Fakes to Gibbs and keeps going into the free throw line. Fakes Bird out of the way and walks with it. And it's out of bounds to Kentucky. Off the eastern side of the backcourt, where Vernon Hatton puts it in play to Jerry Calvert as we go into the last 17 minutes of the first half. Calvert in front court crisscrosses down the right side with a pass to Gromeyer and back to Calvert. Hatton goes through, pass to Burrow, pulled up, ball taken away from him, but Bird recovers. Hands to Gromeyer, 20-foot jump shot, it's good. Gromeyer hits from the outside, and Kentucky has the lead for the second time. It's now 4-3. Rochelle in front court with Calvert on him. Hatton is on Taylor as he gets the ball on the left side. Takes a 20-footer that's no good. Bob Burrow rebounds. Whips it up to Calvert. The Wildcats on the move. Calvert pulls up, hooks to Bird at the baseline to the left. No attempt at a shot as he backs into the left corner. High pass to Burrow on the baseline, under the basket. Forced out of shooting position. He gets to Gromeyer to Hatton. Wide open, top rim of the circle. He hit it. Vernon Hatton is the third Wildcat to score. And it is Kentucky 6, Vanderbilt 3. We have played 3 minutes as Taylor comes in front court for the Commodores. Angling to the right and flipping to Rochelle. He breaks Calvert, turns him back. Outside to Taylor. Tim goes to the weak side of the double pivot. Gets it. Gromeyer on him, right close. Stabs for the ball and misses. Hooks out to Gibbs. Gromeyer picks up on him. He backs away and gets to Rochelle. Cutting in. Off to the left. Bird slaps it down. Rochelle picks it up. Hooks out into the corner to Tim. As Kentucky's defense is very close, very aggressive. Tim has it knocked away and out of bounds by Gromeyer. Vanderbilt puts it in play on the right side of the offensive court. Al Rochelle will put it in play. Outside pass to Babe Taylor. Moving to the left and deep with Hatton on him. Pulls it up over his head and gives to Rochelle. Moving to the left. Breaks down the side, spins away, and goes down the middle on Hatton. He missed the shot. Burrow drops the rebound, but Bird picks it up. High pass out to Hatton. 2-on-1 with Calvert. Hatton goes in and lays it up good. Beautiful work by Vernon Hatton and Jerry Calvert. And it is timeout Vanderbilt. The count is 8-3 as Kentucky goes on top of Vanderbilt. Jerry Bird opened up with a rebound shot for 2-0. Rochelle matched it with a 10-foot jump shot. And after 40 seconds, it was 2-2. Hatton fouled by Taylor, missed the free throw. Taylor fouled by Hatton, hit 1 out of 2, and made it 3-2 Vanderbilt. Then Taylor fouling Bird, who missed the free throw. Gromeyer came back with a 20-foot jump shot. Hatton with a 20-foot set shot. And now Hatton on a crip shot has made it 8-3 Kentucky with 16 minutes and 10 seconds in the first half. Vanderbilt has the ball under the Kentucky basket. Babe Taylor waiting to get the ball and put it in play. Tremendous enthusiasm here in the Coliseum tonight, as you can very well tell. Taylor has it. The pass on the bounce to Al Rochelle. He moves up past the 10 striking stripe for the Commodores. Pulls it up and feeds Tim on the double pivot on the left side, which is weak. Outside pass to Harrison, a 15-footer. It's no good. Calvert rebounds for Kentucky. Rolls out of there with it. Up in front court, fades Bird, breaking to the left. Lays it up, no good. Bob Burrow taps it in. It is the first field goal by Burrow. 10-3 Kentucky. Burrow knocks it away from Harrison. He's got it on a 2-1 break with Hatton, who goes in and scores. And Kentucky leads 12-3 as Bob Burrow took it away from Harrison and kicked off a 2-1 break with Hatton. And listen to this mob go crazy. Al Rochelle in front court for Vandy. Feeds on the left side to Gibbs, who goes in wide open and missed it. But a foul has been called on Bob Burrow. The Kentucky center fouling from the rear. That is 2 fouls on each team now, as Vanderbilt's Joe Gibbs goes to the free throw line for the Commodores. 15 minutes and 20 seconds remain in the first half. Gibbs, feet close together, is shooting 1. Rochelle and Taylor in safety as he shoots good. The score is 12-4. A bonus shot now to the 6'6" Vanderbilt forward. Gibbs calmly pounding the ball into the floor. Looks up, shoots, good. Score 12-5. Kentucky leads as Calvert comes back in front court. Sets it up, waiting for Burrow to go to the pivot. He gives to Hatton, the moves to the right. Looks at Gromeyer, fakes to the pivot and gives to Gromeyer. Outside to Calvert, moves down the right side and can't shoot. Out to Burrow. High one across the way to Bird, who fakes to break with it, pulls up, hooks to Burrow, goes under the rim, can't shoot, comes back, lays it in. Bob Burrow picks up his second field goal. Kentucky 14, Vanderbilt 5. Babe Taylor moving up past the line for Vandy now. Hands it off to Rochelle, moving to the left, cutting to the right, gets away from Hatton, and he's fouled by Jerry Calvert, we believe. Nope, it is Vernon Hatton that's drawing the foul, his second. Al Rochelle of Vandy is on the line for the first time tonight. He's the 6-foot guard from Guthrie, Kentucky. 14 minutes and 46 seconds remain in the first half. Here's Rochelle, a right-hander, pumps it up and in. 14-6 the count now. 8 points in favor of Kentucky. Rochelle with a bonus shot. He's the Vanderbilt's leading scorer. He sights, and here comes the bonus shot. It is knocked away by Burrow, but they're ruling goaltending. Burrow slammed the ball off of the rim after the first hop. And that again points up the injustice of the rules book. Had that gone in for an offensive man, it would have been a field goal where the defensive man is prohibited from touching it. Here's Hatton feeding Burrow on the weak side of the double pivot. Moves into the keyhole. Gives to Grawemeyer. A screen and a shot, no good. Beautiful tap by Bird. Rolls out. Grawemeyer knocks up, no good. Burrow hooks. He hit it. Kentucky 16, Vanderbilt 7. Al Rochelle in front court for the Commodores. Moving to his right out deep. He breaks away. Burrow picks him up. He shoots the shot short. Bird takes it off for Kentucky. Holds on. Whips it up to Calvert. It is about 2-2, and Calvert pulls up at the free throw line. Gives to Hatton on the left side to Bird. A 10-footer, no good. Bob Burrow rebounds. Can't hold on to it as he's tied up. 14 minutes and 7 seconds now in the first half. Harrison and Burrow, the two centers, jump at the Kentucky free throw line. It's an even 6-7, 6-7 jump. Here's the toss. The tap by Harrison to Taylor. Knocked away by Calvert. Picked up by Rochelle. Bird stabs and misses. And Rochelle moves in front court for Vandy. Fakes to the pivot, then feeds Tim. Grawemeyer fouled him, knocking it down from the rear. That is personal foul number 1 on Grawemeyer. Number 4 against Kentucky. Bobby Tim is on the Vanderbilt free throw line for 1 shot. Now 13 minutes, 58 seconds to play as he shoots good. And Tim draws the bonus shot. 16-8 in favor of Kentucky. Tim shoots good, 16-9. Vanderbilt has 9 points with only 1 field goal. Up in front court, Calvert of Kentucky, setting it up with Burrow on the free throw line high pivot. Off to Grawemeyer, back to Hatton. Gets away from Rochelle, cut off by Gibbs. Hooks out, and a walking infraction by Hatton as he dragged the pivot foot. So that is one of the rare times Kentucky has failed to score on its trip down court. Babe Taylor back in front court for Vandy. Gets by Hatton and loses the dribble. Goes back out to get it. Whips to Tim, who breaks by Grawemeyer. Under the basket, comes back and lays it up, no good. Harrison taps, no good. Up into the air, Calvert for the rebound. Comes out of there on the run with it. Past the dividing line, pulls up deep. Grawemeyer goes by. Pushing foul against Harrison of Vanderbilt. Harrison pushing Burrow, trying to keep him out of position, has committed his first foul. 1 shot to Bob Burrow, making his first appearance in the free throw line. 13 minutes, 19 seconds in the first half here at Lexington. Hatton and Calvert just off the top rim of the circle in safety as Burrow, a two-hander from between the knees, hits. That is Kentucky's first free throw of the game. First good free throw of the game. And it's 17-9. Burrow is the leading scorer in the game. As his bonus try is good, it's 18-9. Kentucky leads Vanderbilt. Rochelle gets it from Taylor, moving straight up the middle of the backcourt. Past the midcourt stripe, fakes left, comes right, drives on Calvert. Burrow picks him up. Bounce pass out front to Taylor now. Calvert has been shifted off on Joe Gibbs on that switch, so they'll feed him. There it goes. He breaks on Calvert. He's 6'6", and the shot no good. Bob Burrow rebounds. Harrison fouled him. Harrison made a lunge at the ball and hit Burrow for his second personal foul. Babe Taylor also has 2. We have played 7 minutes, 3 seconds. And Bob Burrow is on the Kentucky free throw line for 1 shot on a foul committed under the Vanderbilt basket. Kentucky holds a 9-point lead on a rampaging break of fast basketball early. Here's Burrow shooting. Good. Burrow tries the bonus shot now to make it 20-9 as it stands 19-9 at the moment. Calvert and Hatton are both in almost at the free throw line as Burrow shoots, no good. Tapped by Grawemeyer, rebounded by Harrison of Vanderbilt. Double team, gives it outside to Babe Taylor. He moves quickly in Commodore front court, gets away down the middle. Bird and Kennedy collide, and the shot's no good. Taylor still down on the floor as Calvert breaks up in front court at the free throw line. Goes, and Tim fouled him. The foul on Vanderbilt's Bobby Tim is his first one of the game. That is personal foul number 5 against Vanderbilt. Calvert makes his first appearance at the Kentucky free throw line. Calvert is the only Wildcat who hasn't scored. 12 minutes, 48 seconds in the first half. As Hatton walks back, Calvert shoots, good. Kentucky 20, Vanderbilt 9, and the Commodores still play with 1 field goal. Here's the bonus shot. No good. Bird taps. No good. Burrow rebounds. Lays it up. Good. Bob Burrow giving a tremendous demonstration to put Kentucky on top 22-9. Al Rochelle in front court to Babe Taylor. Breaking to the right, coming back to the left. A 15-footer, no good to the left. Burrow rebounds for Kentucky. Knocked away by Tim, picked up by Grawemeyer. Calvert spilled, gets up on his feet, and takes the pass. Moves up in front court to set it up for the Wildcats. Moving to the left. Bird breaks. Calvert follows. Hooks out to Hatton. He breaks into the free throw line. Cuts to the right. Gets by Harrison. Lays it up. No good. But Harrison fouled him. And that's his third of the ball game. Vernon Hatton goes to the free throw line, drawing 2 shots. Harrison has 3. Taylor has 2 as the Commodores tread on thin ice with personal fouls here midway the first half. Now Vernon Hatton up ready for his first try. Sights up from between the knees with a shot that's no good again. Hatton came into the game the leading shooter, has missed his first 2 tries. It's 22-9 Kentucky. 12 minutes, 14 seconds in the first half as Adolph Rupp quickly points something out to Grawemeyer as he looks at him on the right-handed rebounding position away from Harrison. Hatton shoots, misses again. Grawemeyer taps, is knocked to the floor as the rebound is taken off by Al Rochelle of Vandy. Up past the dividing line, he's picked up by Calvert. Gives to Taylor on the crisp, moving to the left. Back to Rochelle to his right, and the pivot to Harrison. He fakes, breaks by Bird, and falls down with it. The foul, though, is going to be tripping against Bird. Bird committing his first foul of the game. Now 5 fouls against Kentucky as Harrison of Vanderbilt will take 1. Harrison has been shut out as we've played 8 minutes. Vanderbilt has 1 field goal. They've made 7 free throws in 8 tries. The 2 guards of Vanderbilt, Taylor and Rochelle, are in safety as Harrison shoots no good. Calvert gets the rebound. Whips to Hatton on a 3-4 break. Hatton goes down the middle, gives to Calvert a 10-foot jumper. Good. Calvert gets his first field goal, and it is Kentucky 24, Vanderbilt 9. Taylor in front court to Rochelle, moving to the left and staying out deep with it. Loses the ball. Hatton tries and can't get to it. Over it goes to Babe Taylor. Back to Rochelle on the right. Fakes. Grawemeyer picks up, cuts him off. Hatton slaps, just missing the ball. Down the right to Gibbs. Gibbs still holding the ball. Still holding it. The fans yelling. 5-second count. Then he gives to Tim, who breaks for the basket and charging against Tim of Vanderbilt. Personal foul number 2 on Bobby Tim. And number 7 against the Commodores as Bob Polk rises to his feet, clapping his hands vigorously to call the second timeout of the game for Vanderbilt. And listen to this roar of applause. Many of the 12,000 fans on their feet as Kentucky has eased out in front here 24-9. We have 11 minutes and 22 seconds of playing time remaining. Vanderbilt called timeout after 3 minutes, 50 seconds of play. Kentucky was on top 8-3. And since that timeout, Vanderbilt has not scored a field goal. Kentucky has increased its lead from 5 points and right now stands on top by 15. Personal fouls are rapidly becoming a factor. Harrison has committed 3, Tim 2, Taylor 2. For Kentucky, Hatton has committed 2. And Burrow, Grawemeyer, and Bird each have 1. Ready to go now as the warning horn sounds. No change in either lineup. Jerry Calvert is at the Kentucky free throw line for 1 shot. Fouled in backcourt by Bobby Tim. Hatton dragging the left foot and alternately the right foot, indicating that he's not getting the traction he desires as Calvert at the free throw line flips it up good. Calvert has a bonus shot coming now as he looks for point number 5. It's 25-9 Kentucky. The left-handed rebounding position held by Burrow as Calvert shoots good again. 26-9. The Wildcats leading the Commodores. Al Rochelle moves up past the dividing line with a pass to Babe Taylor. Down the right side to Gibbs. The Commodores go to the offense they used in the very late stages of the game at Nashville to win with it. In other words, Tim and Harrison are playing shoulder to shoulder and then working the screens off that. Tim shooting, he got it. Breaking to the right side, Tim gets his first field goal. And after 9 minutes, Vanderbilt has 2 field goals. It's 26-11 in favor of Kentucky. Hatton in front court. Moves to the right. Grawemeyer moves out, and Hatton goes all the way to lay it in. Hatton is knocked to the floor hard, and he's hurt. An official's time has been called as Hatton was spilled hard by Harrison under the Kentucky basket. 28-11, Kentucky leads, and trainer Rusty Payne is out and over him. Whether that will draw any hard feelings or not, we don't know. But Coach Adolph Rupp looks toward the Vanderbilt bench as Vernon Hatton comes to his feet, nodding his head affirmatively, and the officials signal that it is their timeout. Grawemeyer, along with Adolph Rupp, talking with Hatton to make sure he's okay. He was spilled under the basket after laying the crip shot in as Harrison cut in under him and flipped him on his back. His head banged the floor. He rubs the right arm and indicates that he apparently is okay to stay in there. Hatton's field goal is his 4th of the game. He's on a rampage along with Burrow again tonight, and he's staying in the ball game. The Commodores have the ball under the Kentucky basket as we get ready to go back to play. Taylor, bounce pass into Rochelle, and here we go again. Back to Taylor, who's up in front court for Vandy. Moving to the right inside Gibbs with Hatton on him to the right corner. Outside to Gibbs, who moves to the free throw line, gives to Tim at the top rim of the circle. Moves to the right, can't shoot as Bird knocks it down, and across the arms foul on Bird. That's the second foul on 6'6" Jerry Bird. And Bobby Tim of Vanderbilt goes to the Vanderbilt free throw line for one shot. Tim hasn't missed. 10 minutes, 32 seconds in the first half. His try, no good. Bird rebounds for Kentucky, up the way to Hatton on a 3-3 break. Pulls up free throw line jump shot to the left, no good. Harrison rebounds for Vandy. Tried to fight out and couldn't do it. He's tied up. Harrison slinging the elbows and leaping into the air. Could not get out of there. And the 2 6'7" centers jump on the Kentucky free throw line. Burrow taps to Bird, who slaps to Grawemeyer. He dropped it. Hooks it out on the right side of the baseline to Calvert. Looks for a man open, takes a jump shot. It's good. And the score is Kentucky 30, Vanderbilt 11. Up in front court, Al Rochelle calls his play. Moves to the left, gives to Taylor on the crisscross. Out deep, now moving down the right side, pulls up. Calvert doing a beautiful job of cutting off that shot. Here's Tim, one-hander, no good from the left. Grawemeyer moves in, and Rochelle scoots in front of him and gets the rebound. Out to Babe Taylor now, who holds it over his head. Moves to the left and gives to Tim, breaking to the right. At the top rim of the circle, he pulls up and gives to Taylor. Taylor moves to the right, pulls up quickly, gives back to Tim. Fall-away shot, no, it's no good. Burrow knocks it away, but it's picked up by Gibbs, who shoots no good, and Grawemeyer fouls him. For Phil Grawemeyer, personal foul number 2. Bird, Hatton, and Grawemeyer have each committed 2 fouls, and 2 shots to Joe Gibbs. 9 minutes, 39 seconds in the first half. Kentucky owns a 19-point lead as the 6'6" junior, Joe Gibbs, pumps up the first one good. Vanderbilt has played 10 minutes, 21 seconds with 2 field goals. Rochelle and Tim getting them. Now Gibbs shooting the second shot good. 30-13. Here is Calvert to Hatton, moving in front court. Fakes and then gives to Bird on the left side. He faked Tim, drives, lays it up. It is good. And a foul against Tim of Vanderbilt, blocking. Bobby Tim has a defensive motion in which he curls up when he finds a man breaking by him and tries to knock him loose pretty well. Bird got it and tries a free throw. Here it goes. A right-handed push, no good. Grawemeyer taps, no good as Harrison had the rebound, threw it away. Over the head of Taylor and into the crowd. Kentucky 32, Vanderbilt 13, as Hatton puts it in play deep to Calvert on the right side. Calvert moving, back to Hatton on his right. Fakes, moves to the right. Harrison picks him up. He picks it up to shoot. Harrison blocks and Taylor rebounds. Up to Rochelle. Moves in front court for the Commodores. With Calvert on him, he cuts inside Taylor and keeps. Pivots and gives back to Taylor. One bounce dribble and back to Rochelle. Rochelle holds it. Gives over to Taylor. Breaks through. Taylor cuts to the left. 20-foot jump shot, no good. A foul is called. Goes against Kentucky. Jerry Calvert is drawing personal foul number 1. That is the 8th foul against each team. Shooting for Vandy, Babe Taylor. He's hit 1 and missed 1. Try is no good. Slapped by Gibbs, no good. Rebounded by Burrow, flipped out to Hatton. Kentucky leading Vanderbilt 32-13. Hatton in front court to Calvert. Calls to Burrow, breaks to the right, pulls up, fakes to him, and gives out to Hatton. Moving to the right, inside Calvert keeping, going by the baseline, by Harrison, kicks out to Grawemeyer, a 10-footer, it's good. Vernon Hatton that time took both of the big guys in under with him. Gibbs and Harrison both going for him, and he just kicked it off on the left side to Grawemeyer, who punched it in. Harrison gets it, breaks, hooks, and misses. Grawemeyer rebounds for Kentucky. Up the way to Calvert. It's now 34-13 as the Cats lead by 21. Bird fakes, gives to Burrow in the pivot. A hook shot over Harrison, no good. Calvert tapped it up just short. Grawemeyer taps twice, no good. Burrow taps, no good. Outside racing for it. Rochelle lets it go, and Kentucky gets it. There are 8 minutes in the first half as Calvert gets the ball, pumps the pass into Hatton, and we're back to play. 34-13 on the left side to Grawemeyer, and the pivot to Burrow, spins, and he's fouled from the rear. Joe Gibbs throwing his first one of the night. Now 7 minutes, 54 seconds in the first half as Kentucky's Jerry Bird goes to the free throw line for one try. Bird has had 2 tries and hasn't found the mark yet. He's hitting a little under 69% at the free throw line. He goes with a shot. Again, he misses. Grawemeyer, it's over his head, tried to tap, couldn't get to it, and Tim rebounds for Vandy. Over to Babe Taylor, up to Rochelle. As he moves in front court with it, he's picked up by Calvert, breaks to the right, gets away. Burrow picks up, and he shoots. Good. Rochelle is the first Commodore to get his second field goal. They have only 3. 34-15 in favor of Kentucky. Vernon Hatton in front court. To the right to Grawemeyer, who faked outside and broke to the right. Can't get through. Hatton open, but they couldn't get the pass cross court against the defense. It was an against the grain pass. Here's Calvert bouncing to Burrow. Under the basket to Grawemeyer. Knocked down. Vanderbilt's got it. Gibbs knocked it down and picked it up. Gives to Rochelle. Moves up past the 10-second stripe. Cuts to the left. Calvert falls away, and he pulls up at the top of the circle. Grawemeyer knocks it away from Tim. Races to get it. Can't do it. Out of bounds to Vandy. And as the officials warned the cheerleaders, one of them was almost overrun on that one. Here's Taylor to Rochelle, handling it out deep with Hatton on him. Bounce pass goes to Gibbs on the pivot. Breaks by Burrow and hooks up short, but Burrow fouled him. It is the second foul on Burrow. Now all but Calvert have 2 fouls against him for Kentucky. Joe Gibbs goes to the Vanderbilt free throw line. He's shooting 2. Joe Gibbs up for the first one, has hit 4 in a row. Here's the first one, no good. 6 minutes, 50 seconds in the first half here at Lexington. Kentucky 34, Vanderbilt 15. Now Gibbs shooting the second shot. It's good. 34-16, Kentucky leads. Calvert moving up in front court for the Wildcats. Gives to Hatton, who moves to the right, making no attempt to go in. High pass to Bird, to Burrow. 15-foot jump shot. It's no good. Taylor rebounds for Vandy. Up to Rochelle, who moves in front court with it. Down the left side, breaks out to the free throw line, pulls up. Butts Hatton away from him and gives to Taylor. Moves into the left corner, jump shot way over the rim. Bird takes it away from Harrison and slams it back into Harrison. Harrison knocked him away from it. He shoots way into the boards, no good. Grawemeyer rebounds up the way to Bird. Moving in one-on-one against Rochelle. He goes to the left corner and feeds Burrow. Moves out of there. Can't shoot. Gives to Hatton, who wasn't expecting it. It's knocked down and out of bounds. Goes to Kentucky opposite Bobby Tim. Right in front of the Vandy bench. Fed to Burrow in the right corner. Bird breaks out and gets it at the top rim of the circle. As Vandy clogged the middle and broke up the play. Outside to Hatton, who sets it up. Pass to Calvert, moving cautiously to the left side. Bird fouled by Babe Taylor. Now Vanderbilt is creeping into the hole on personal fouls. Tim, Taylor, and Harrison each have committed 3. Jerry Bird is on the free throw line, trying to hit his first one. He's missed 3 in a row. 5 minutes, 52 seconds in the first half. As Bird shoots, good. Bird shakes his head as if to say, well, it's about time. 35-16, Kentucky leads. Bonus shot by Burrow, no good. Taken off by Gibbs, knocked down by Grawemeyer, picked up by Tim. Fed to Rochelle, moving up the middle of the backcourt, past the 10-second stripe. Fires to Taylor, pulls it up over his head, feeds Harrison on the weak side, back to Rochelle, fakes Calvert, breaks in, 15-footer, thrown behind Harrison. He picks it up, lays it in unopposed. Harrison gets his first field goal of the game out of the pivot after 14 and a half minutes of play. Kentucky 35, Vanderbilt 18. Hatton in front court on the right side to Grawemeyer, out front to Calvert. He sets a 30-footer short off of the rim. Tap to the outside. Calvert races and gets it away from Rochelle. Feeds left to Bird. Wide open. 10-footer, no good. Burrow rebounds. Fights to hold on and shoots way short as Harrison knocked it down. Bird hits the floor as Gibbs takes the rebound. Up to Babe Taylor. Over to Rochelle on the right side. Rochelle breaks right. Calvert knocked it away from him and out of bounds, and it goes to Kentucky. Ruling it, Rochelle dropped it after Calvert had hit it. Here's Hatton to Bird on the left side. Fakes, breaks on Tim, and lays it in. Tim tried to stop and let Bird charge, but Bird pulled up a little abruptly and missed the contact, and it's 37-14 Kentucky. Here's Rochelle in front court. Bounce pass over to Taylor. Taylor fakes, breaks to the left with Hatton driving him away. On the left side of the double pivot to Harrison, a one-bounce dribble and an outside pass to Taylor. 4.5 minutes now in the first half. Taylor moving down the left side, gets to Rochelle, breaks out, goes right down the middle, wide open, and lays it up good. Rochelle gets his third field goal of the game, and it's 37-20. Kentucky with a 17-point advantage. Calvert and Hatton slowly up the backcourt, talking it over. Calvert, high tom-tom dribble, let her high. Crisscrosses inside Hatton, gives to Gromeyer, back to Calvert. Hatton goes through. Burrow floats way out deep to get the pass. Back over to Calvert. Kentucky slows it down now, seeming to want to take a rest. Calvert moves to the right with a pass to Gromeyer. Gromeyer keeps, feeds Calvert on the top rim of the circle. Moves to the right. Backs away. Bounce pass to Gromeyer. Fakes to Burrow. Gives to him, and he lays it in. A foul on the play. The goal is good. And it is personal foul number 4 on Charlie Harrison. Bob Burrow is drawing his 5th field goal, and he's on the line right now for a free throw as Vanderbilt gets ready to substitute. Bob Gregor waiting to come in. Burrow shoots good. So Bob Burrow gets a 3-point trip, and Kentucky gets a 20-point lead, 40-20. Harrison is out of there. A 19-year-old sophomore from Edwardsville, Illinois, Bob Gregor, Gregor. He's 6'2", weighs 200 pounds. Has scored 43 points this season, number 6 in scoring, an average of 2.4 a game. Rochelle feeds to Gregor, who fakes to him, fakes to Gibbs, gives to Taylor, breaks in, 10-foot jump shot, good, as he's left wide open. And that is Babe Taylor's first field goal of the game. He gets it after 16.5 minutes of play. It is 40-22, Kentucky in front by 18 points. Hatton in front court, a high one right into the hands of Bobby Tim of Vanderbilt. Burrow was behind Tim, but Hatton didn't get enough stuff on it. Up is Rochelle in front court for the Commodores. Bounce pass over to Babe Taylor, moving to the left. 25-foot jump shot, no good. High off of the rim is Bird to get the rebound. It's knocked down, picked up by Calvert, who fights to hold on to it. High pass down the right side to Gromeyer. Turns his back to the rim and flips out to Hatton. Breaks to the right. Gregor fouls him, stabbing for the ball. And it's personal foul. No, wait a minute. It's on Vernon Hatton of Kentucky for charging. And Kentucky apparently is taking timeout. Third foul on Vernon Hatton. Bob Burrow doesn't know yet that timeout has been taken by his teammates. The first Kentucky timeout. And let's take 10 seconds here for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky, 26 minutes before 9 o'clock.
Back once again to the Coliseum in Lexington, where 3 minutes remain in the first half. Kentucky 40, Vanderbilt 22. And Kentucky's greatest display of power this season. Jerry Calvert has reeled off 7 points. Bird has picked up 7 points. Hatton has hit for 8. Gromeyer for 4. Burrow leads the way with 14. For Vanderbilt, Rochelle has been the big guy with 8. Bobby Tim has 4. Babe Taylor, 3. Charlie Harrison, 2. And Joe Gibbs has 5. Vanderbilt has only 6 field goals after 17 minutes of play. The Commodores have hit 10 out of 14 free throws to stay as close as they are to Kentucky. That's 18 points at the moment. And a chance to narrow it as we go back to play from the free throw line. Bob Gregor, who is the game's first substitute, is in on the Commodore free throw line for 1 shot. Our next broadcast is equally as important. Saturday night we'll be in Montgomery, Alabama, 7:45 over these same stations. Kentucky and Alabama. Here's Gregor shooting, no good. Tapped up, no good by Gibbs, and rebounded by Calvert. Moves away from Gregor and comes in front court. Angles to the right and feeds Gromeyer. Back to Calvert, who breaks to the right. Pulls up, fakes a shot, gives out to Hatton. Back to Calvert on the right side with Gibbs on him. He moves away. Can't get in there and gives out to Hatton. Vanderbilt playing the zone, not moving much. Here's Hatton moving to the right, behind the back of Calvert with a pass. In backcourt, it's knocked down by Rochelle and out of bounds to Kentucky. All Rochelle had to do then was either let it go out of bounds or let Calvert touch it, and it was Vanderbilt's ball. And he tried to get away on a crip shot and lost the whole works. So here's Hatton back in front court for Kentucky. Pulls up, gives to Calvert, fakes to the pivot. Down the left side as Kentucky goes to a single pivot to Bird, to Burrow, has it knocked down, a fight for the ball in the pivot. Burrow picks it up, feeds outside, Hatton scoops it up in the bounce. Fine save by Burrow. Here's Bird faking, gives to Burrow, lays it up short, no good. Vanderbilt gets the rebound. As Adolph Rupp is up off that bench yelling at the official in on the baseline. Vanderbilt going into that sinking zone, trying to clog the middle, and Kentucky changing its offense to a single pivot. Taylor shooting good, 10 feet from the left side. And the score is 40-24. A minute, 45 seconds to play. Hatton down the left side to Bird. Fakes to shoot, and Tim moves in a little too close. Gives to Burrow, and he's fouled by Joe Gibbs of Vanderbilt, committing his second one. Charlie Harrison is out of there with 4. Tim and Taylor on the floor with 3. So is Vernon Hatton of Kentucky. Bob Burrow, who's hit 4 out of 5, goes up for 1. 1 minute, 40 seconds in the first half. Burrow sights, flexes, shoots. Good. 41-24 as Burrow tries the bonus shot for Kentucky. Calvert moves to the right and Hatton to the left of the circle. Here's Burrow's shot. It's good. Kentucky leads 42-24 as Vanderbilt comes back to the attack. Babe Taylor moving in front court in this torrid first half. Here's Rochelle breaking left, cut off quickly by Hatton. Behind his back, he gives to Joe Gibbs. A one-bounce dribble, back to Rochelle moving to the baseline. He can't shoot. Calvert almost knocked it away. Fires one up that's short. Gromeyer rebounds. It's knocked down by Tim and out of bounds to Kentucky. Passes into Calvert. Up the way to Vernon Hatton. Moves past the dividing line. Kentucky swings to the double pivot again. Hatton outside, fakes a shot, gives to Bird on the left side of the double pivot. Looks in, faces Burrow, can't get the pass to him, outside to Calvert. A bad pass that Calvert was able to get to since Rochelle wasn't charging him. Bounce pass to Burrow, off on the right side and back to Calvert. Fakes to break, cuts into the keyhole, pulls up, flips to Hatton. He fakes, breaks, Rochelle goes with him, he gets by him and lays it in. Vernon Hatton gets his 5th field goal to make it 44-24. And Kentucky's back on top by 20 points. There are now 40 seconds to go as Taylor gets by Hatton to the left with a 15-footer good. Babe Taylor and Rochelle each have 3 field goals. The crowd is officially estimated now at 12,500. We have a half minute in the first half, and let's see what happens. Kentucky apparently wants 1 shot as Adolph Rupp signals with the index finger of the right hand from the bench to Calvert, who nods his head in recognition. Now it is 10 as Brewer and Coach Rupp both indicate with every finger of each hand. Calvert, tom-tomming the ball on the post out deep at the moment. Hands to Gromeyer, out to Hatton. There are 6 seconds to go as Calvert sets from 30 feet, no good. Here's Burrow rebounding, lays it in. And the first half is over. Well, we can tell now what that 10 meant. That was Calvert to take the shot. He did, missed, and Burrow laid it in on the rebound. So the halftime margin is Kentucky 46, Vanderbilt 26. 20-point Kentucky advantage. We'll have individual scoring for you in just a moment. You know, when you stop to consider, it takes a mighty small amount of dirt on your windshield to block effective vision. There's another place in your automobile where a little dirt can make a big difference, and that's in your engine. Let just a small carbon deposit start forming, and before you know it, you're losing real power. Your Standard Oil dealer's Mobile Oil Special and Uniflow motor oils are designed to prevent that power loss. Special detergents in these 2 great oils constantly clean your engine as you drive. And with power-robbing deposits out of the way, your engine is left free to develop full power. You actually get octanes more in performance from your present gasoline. Have your crankcase filled with Mobile Oil Special or Uniflow at your Standard Oil dealers the next time you have your oil changed. Well, here is your individual scoring on the first half of play. Bob Burrow has led the show with 18 points, 6 field goals, and 6 free throws in 7 tries. Next is Vernon Hatton with 10 points on 5 field goals. He's missed all of his free throw opportunities. And Bird and Calvert each have 7 points. Bird 3 field goals, 1 out of 5 on the free throw line. Calvert has 2 field goals and 3 out of 4 free throws. Gromeyer has picked up 4 points on 2 field goals. They are the only 5 Wildcats that have played. For Vanderbilt, the leading man right now, Al Rochelle with 8 points, 3 field goals, 2 free throws. Babe Taylor has 7 points, 3 field goals, 1 out of 3 on the free throw line. 5 points for Joe Gibbs, 5 out of 6 free throws. Bobby Tim has 4 points, a field goal, 2 for 3 at the free throw line. Charlie Harrison has scored 2 points and a field goal. He's missed his only free throw opportunity. And reserve Bob Greger has not scored. Well, right at this moment, Dean Terrell is coming in here to sit with us. And before the Dean sits down, we have the coach of the University of Louisville, Peck Hickman, whom we would first of all like to congratulate for tonight taking over number 3 in the Associated Press poll. Peck, I imagine it makes you feel right good, doesn't it?
Thank you, Claude. That's right. Just hope we can stay there.
Do you think your ball club, after that second defeat of Dayton Friday night's now ready to roll and get ready for this big invitation tournament?
Well, that's, of course, something that is problematical. You can never tell. I hope the boys are all right. We have 3 real tough games coming up. Tomorrow night we're over at Richmond, and then we go to Murray, and then we play Xavier back home. So if the boys don't play good ball, we could very easily lose all 3 of those ball games. Of course, I'm hoping that we won't.
Well, we are hoping right along with you, Peck, and we wonder how you rate the first half of this game here tonight.
Well, I would have to say that Kentucky is hot, and you're going to have to spell all those all with capital letters because they're really doing a wonderful job.
Peck, how well do you rate this Vanderbilt team?
This is the first time that I've had an opportunity to see them play, and I think it would be a little unfair for me to rate them after watching them this first half because they haven't played too well. I know that Bob Pope isn't feeling as well as he could, but this looks like this is Kentucky's night. So, as I say, it would be a little unfair for me to try to rate them after watching them this half, and this is the only time I've seen them play.
Well, Peck, thank you very, very much for your comments. We wish you and your Cardinals the best of luck in the season and in the National Invitation Tournament.
Thank you, Claude. It's been nice being here.
Thank you very much, sir. Peck Hickman, the coach of the University of Louisville, who, in case you may have missed it earlier, moved into the number 3 position in the nation in the Associated Press poll. Kentucky dropped back 1 notch to number 8. Well, you know, again, tonight we're continuing our series of interviews with staff members of the University of Kentucky. Tonight we have with us Dean Daniel V. Terrell of the College of Engineering. Dean Terrell has a long record with the College of Engineering. He is in his 43rd year of service and has been dean since 1946. Among other things, he is a member of the athletic board and a strong supporter of athletics. So, Dean Terrell, what do you think of tonight's game before we get into a discussion of your college?
Well, Claude, I can tell you this is one of the finest games I've seen from our standpoint. A fine crowd and 2 fine teams, and Kentucky's doing a good job.
Have you ever heard a crowd of Kentucky basketball fans yell any louder or harder for their team?
Or make as much noise and be as interested. No, sir, I haven't.
Well, Dean Terrell, thank you for that comment. We would like now to just find out what does the College of Engineering have for its purpose here at the university?
Our College of Engineering was founded in 1886 and produced its first graduate in John Gunn of Lexington in 1890. Since then, we have graduated over 3,800 in the fields of civil, mining, mechanical, electrical, and metallurgical engineering. Our alumni are found in all parts of the world. Therefore, I would say that our chief purpose is education in the various fields of engineering.
Well, can you tell us something about the demand for engineers and for engineering education?
Well, Claude, before the First World War, our College of Engineering averaged about 350 to 400 students. We graduated 50 to 60 each year. At the peak of the GI enrollment, however, we went up to 1,510 and graduated 405 in 1950. There was a decline, and by 1953 we were down to 790 and graduated 95. This year we reached 1,490 and we'll graduate some 150. We are now on the increase.
Well, Dean Terrell, we hear a lot about the present shortage of engineers. Now, what is this shortage? What caused it, and how can it be overcome?
The estimated present shortage of engineers, as reported by Engineers Joint Council, is between 40 and 60,000. Some 30,000 new replacement engineers are needed each year. We are graduating at the rate of 22,000. The shortage, which is emphasized by the continual increasing development of nearly all of our industries, has several causes. Too few high school students who are prepared, and the requirements of the armed forces, adequate use of the engineering personnel by companies, are some of the main causes. The shortage will be overcome when the causes have been corrected.
Dean Carroll, may I ask what direct steps are being taken here in Kentucky to help overcome the shortage of engineers?
Claude, the Kentucky Society of Professional Engineers has a guidance committee of 100 professional people located in all parts of the state. They stand ready to advise with any student, to speak to high school meetings, and to encourage the high schools themselves to offer more in mathematics and science.
Well, now, we've heard it said that most of your graduates go outside of the state for employment. Is that true?
In days gone by, that was the case. As you know, we have made much improvement in our state in industry. And within the last few years, some 250 new industries located in 90 communities and now employing over 50,000 people. And wherever there is industry, engineering graduates are needed. A recent check showed about 40% of our living graduates are in Kentucky. Many leave the state for a while, but soon return.
Well, what is the demand at the moment for your graduates? Would you care to mention pay, for instance?
Well, Rod, the school this year had over 200 companies, government, federal, state, consulting engineers, and others interviewing our seniors. Every graduate in this year's class will have a number of opportunities for employment. We do not encourage bidding for service, and we do not advise a student to accept the consideration for salary only. At present, the range is from $370 to $450 a month.
Dean Terrell, how may one determine his fitness for studying engineering?
Lord, many tests have been worked out which are intended to guide those who plan to enter the various fields of professional fields. A student can be tested and his fitness to enter engineering. The tests are not always correct, but they do provide an excellent guide and may save the student the embarrassment of finding himself in the wrong field.
Well, in general, what does the work of the engineer cover?
Lord, I'm glad you answered that question. It covers almost everything. If you'll just look about you. This magnificent building we're in, the car that brought you here, the road you traveled on, the radio that's carrying this message, almost every household convenience, as well as airplanes, railroads, and what have you, all are basically developed through the efforts of engineers.
Well, does your college participate in the industrial development of our state any?
Yes, sir. We are continually looking for opportunity to serve our state. We carry on many projects in sponsored research for the government and for industry. We have interest in the development of our natural resources, such as coal.
Well, now, Dean Terrell, you mentioned coal. How do we rate in our state in the production of coal? And what are you doing to promote the use of coal?
The state of Kentucky is third in the production of coal. Last year, we produced over 75 million tons, which is about 17% of all the coal mined in the United States. Coal is our greatest source of stored energy, atomic energy notwithstanding.
Well, now, are you doing anything in the way of research for the benefit of the coal industry?
Not too much at the moment, I'm sorry to say. We need the support of the state and perhaps of the coal industry. First, we need to complete our minerals industry building started in 1953. Then we will need funds to support research in this field.
Well, Dean Terrell, we thank you very much for stopping by to be with us at this halftime, and it has been very, very interesting talking with you about the College of Engineering and getting your comments on the first half of this game.
Thank you very much, Lord. I've enjoyed being here. It's been a pleasure to me to meet with the audience in the field outside this stadium.
Well, thank you very, very much, Dean Terrell. And we have just had a score from the Southeastern Conference come in, and Tennessee tonight has defeated Georgia Tech. The score is Tennessee 76, Georgia Tech 74. And here is a score from the Big Ten. Tonight, Michigan State has defeated Northwestern by only 3 points. Michigan State 96, Northwestern 93. Those are final scores as Tennessee wins in the Southeastern Conference from Georgia Tech by 76 to 74. Here's Kentucky coming back, and listen to the return ovation. ready for the second half of play, and at the moment, we await the return to the floor of the Commodores. In the first half, the scoring has been led by Bob Burrow. The 6'7" Kentucky center has hit for 18 points, 6 field goals, and 6 free throws in 7 tries. The 6'3" guard, Vernon Hatton, has 10 points on 5 field goals. Hatton has missed 3 free throw opportunities. Jerry Bird and Jerry Calvert each have 7 points, and Phil Gromeyer's hit for 4. For Vanderbilt, Al Rochelle leads with 8. Babe Taylor's next with 7. Joe Gibbs with 5, Bobby Tim with 4, and Charlie Harrison with 2. It is interesting, we think, to note at halftime in Nashville last month, Vanderbilt's leading scorer was Bobby Tim with 10 points. He is right now 6 behind that pace. Al Rochelle had 7. He's 1 ahead with 8. Babe Taylor had 14 at the half in Nashville, so he is 7 behind his pace. Charlie Harrison had 4, so he's 2 behind. Joe Gibbs is in front. He had only 2 points at half in Nashville. He has 5 right now, although he has no field goals. In the first half, each team got 10 free throws, but Kentucky's 20-point lead is on 10 field goals. 18-8 is the margin. And on the free throw line, the Wildcats hit 10 for 19. Vanderbilt hit 10 for 16, as Kentucky missed 9 free throw opportunities. Vandy has meanwhile missed 6. Here's a mild cheer for the Commodores as they return to the court. And here are your first half shooting percentages. For Vanderbilt, there are 8 field goals on 27 shots. Shooting percentage 29-6. For Kentucky, there are 18 field goals on 39 shots. Shooting percentage 46-2. First half, Kentucky 462 and Vanderbilt 296. That's the first half shooting percentage. Kentucky went out on front 2-0 on a rebound by Bird. A 10-foot jump shot by Rochelle tied it up 2-2. Hatton missed a free throw, and Taylor came back to hit to give Vanderbilt its only lead of the game, 3-2. Bird missed a free throw, but Gromeyer got a 20-foot jump shot. Hatton hit a 20-foot set shot, and then Hatton on a crip shot with a fast break put Kentucky on top 8-3. Vandy called timeout, and Kentucky's been in charge ever since. The 4-3 was the only lead for the Commodores. Personal fouls are playing a part. Charlie Harrison of Vanderbilt's committed 4, and he's just checked with the scorers table, indicating he's going to apparently come back in to start the second half. There are 3 fouls on Babe Taylor, 3 personals against Bobby Tim, and 2 against Joe Gibb, as Vanderbilt has committed 12 in the first half. For Kentucky, Vernon Hatton's committed 3. Bob Burrow 2, Phil Gromeyer 2, Jerry Bird 2. Jerry Calvert has committed 1. Adolph Rupp has not made a substitution in the game. Vanderbilt's starting 5 will be back in, and the same is true of the Kentucky Wildcats. Bob Greger of Vandy, a late substitution in the first half, has been the only substitution for either team. Let us remind you that at 7:45 Central Standard Time, Saturday night, we'll be back with you over these same stations for the Kentucky-Alabama game. It is also a crucial game, and by Saturday night will apparently mean more than the Vanderbilt game meant tonight, because Alabama is the only undefeated team in the conference. Vanderbilt and Kentucky have each been defeated 1 time, and tonight down at Baton Rouge, Alabama's playing Louisiana State. There's the warning horn for the start of the second half of play. Kentucky's starting 5 remains in. That's Jerry Calvert and Vernon Hatton at the guards, Bob Burrow at center, Jerry Bird and Phil Gromeyer at the forwards. For Vanderbilt, we'll have Al Rochelle and Babe Taylor back at the guards, Charlie Harrison at center, Joe Gibbs at a forward along with Bobby Tim. And it is Kentucky 46, Vanderbilt 26. As we get ready for the second half, Vanderbilt is out and waiting now for Kentucky to break huddle. Vandy has called 2 times out. Kentucky has called 1. We had 22 personal fouls in the first half, 12 by Vandy. Kentucky moves out as Bob Burrow and Charlie Harrison get ready to jump start the second half. Both boys stand 6-7, so it is even Steven. Kentucky with a 20-point lead. Second half starts. Burrow tapping in front court to Vernon Hatton. The two forwards, Bird and Grawemeyer, broke to the wrong court and had to hustle back to the right. Bird gets it, moves into the top rim of the circle, pulls it up over his head, bounce pass to Burrow on the pivot. No rebounding strength, and he doesn't risk a shot. Over to Hatton, moving to the right out deep. Fakes to Calvert, sets, fakes to Grawemeyer, calls him out. Grawemeyer doesn't come, and he passes over to Calvert. Calvert fakes to Bird, gives back to Hatton. Down the right to Grawemeyer, and the pivot to Burrow, wide open. He laid it in. Man, was Vanderbilt fooled on that one. They just automatically expected Grawemeyer to kick her back out to the first guard around. Instead, he kicked behind the back of Harrison to Bob Burrow wide open. Here's Rochelle breaking right, goes under the basket. He's fouled by Vernon Hatton. Now each team has a man on the floor with 4 fouls. Vernon Hatton of Kentucky is coming out of the game and being replaced by Johnny Brewer, 20-year-old junior from Anchorage, who graduated at Middletown at Eastern. He's 6'3", weighs 184. Brewer is averaging 2.6 a game. He's Kentucky's number 8 scorer with 48 points. He had his big night in Baton Rouge with 13 points against LSU. Al Rochelle, who hasn't missed, shoots and misses. Bob Burrow rebounds, hooking it away. And as Rochelle raced in, he faked away from Brewer and gave to Calvert. Up to Bird, 25-foot set shot, good. And Burrow and Bird start the fireworks in the second half. It is Kentucky 50, Vanderbilt 26. Babe Taylor in front court, feeds on the weak side of the double pivot to Joe Gibbs. Makes no attempt to get it in, hands to Rochelle. Wipes perspiration off the side of his nose, breaks down the right side. Calvert retreats in the right direction, and Rochelle turns and retreats. In the pivot, and Burrow fouls as the incoming passes to Joe Gibbs. It's number 3 on Bob Burrow. So the fouls are about even now. Tim and Taylor of Vandy have 3. Burrow has 3 for Kentucky. Harrison and Hatton each have 4. Joe Gibbs, who's hit 5 out of 6, is on the Vanderbilt free throw line for 1. 18 minutes, 48 seconds to play. The shot, good. It's 50-27 in favor of Kentucky. They've just had their longest lead of 24 points, cut to 23. Here's the bonus shot now for Gibbs, a 6'6 junior from Jeffersonville, Indiana. It's good. 50-28, as the Wildcats' lead now is 22 points. Calvert, talking with Brewer, moves up in front court. Crisscrosses, gives to him, with Brewer moving to the left and staying outside. Passes to Burrow. It's tipped by Taylor, but held back to Calvert, driving wide open. He missed the shot. Calvert had a dead crip shot. Hung up on the front of the rim and dropped right back into Taylor of Vandy, who moves in front court with it. Over to Rochelle. Fakes left, comes right. Brewer shifts off on him. He goes to the corner, pulls up, can't shoot, and hits the floor without shooting or passing, which indicates walking. Johnny Brewer into Calvert as Kentucky takes over down in back court with a 22-point lead. Brewer up in front court, moving to the left side, pulls up, high pass to Bird. It's in behind the boards. He tries to stuff it up in there, and he can't do it. Harrison of Vandy gets it. Up in front court to Bobby Tim, who pulls up, moves in front court, and down the side. Out front pass goes to Taylor, over to Rochelle, and the pivot to Gibbs. He's got Burrow on him, with Bird right now on Tim. Here's Taylor moving down into the right corner with Brewer on him. Tim steps in from out of bounds to get the pass, with Grawemeyer umbrelloing from the rear. High out front pass to Rochelle now as they overload to the right. Harrison goes to the weak side. Taylor takes it to the weak side. Harrison calling for it, moving to his right. Taylor looking at him, then breaking to the right. Cuts in. Brewer got through on the attempted screen by Gibbs and pulled Taylor up. Out to Gibbs to Rochelle in front lines. Babe Taylor playing the double pivot now as Rochelle moves in, gives out to Joe Gibbs, and one of the officials is standing with both hands in the hip pockets as Taylor hands back to Rochelle. That's how easy the action is at this moment. Now a picking foul has been called. Calvert trying to fight through a pick by Joe Gibbs. Second foul on Calvert. 17 minutes and 13 seconds to play. Al Rochelle of Vanderbilt on the free throw line. He has hit 2 out of 3. Here goes the try. No good. Brewer has the rebound taken away from him by Rochelle, who spins out into the 3-second zone, tries to shoot, can't. Gives to Taylor. He weaves in, pumps up one way to the left, hits the floor. Calvert scoops it up for Kentucky. Moves up in front court with it. A high pass to Burrow. He's wide open, lays it in. 52-28. Kentucky takes its second 24-point lead. Here's Burrow knocking one down from Gibbs, who is able to save. Picked up by Bird. He shoots, and the ball's over the rim to Grawemeyer. Out to Johnny Brewer. Moves up to the middle. Pulls up out on the top rim of the circle. Watches Burrow take a pivot position. Gives to Grawemeyer. Into Burrow. He hooks over Rochelle and misses. Bird with a beautiful rebound just misses. Tim rebounds for Vandy. Hooks a quick pass out there to Taylor. Moves up in front court with it. Down the weak side of the double post, it goes to Gibbs. Tim moves out and goes through, gets it wide open, a 20-footer, good. Tim's second field goal of the game makes it 52-30. Kentucky with a 22-point advantage. Calvert back in front court for the Wildcats. Down the right side to Graumeyer. In the pivot to Burrow with Harrison on him. He spins, comes back to hook it, and a whistle under there. The official was hit in the face with the ball as it was passed back to him, indicating Burrow stepped on the baseline. Vanderbilt takes over. Al Rochelle up in front court. Picked up by Calvert, rather. Cuts and goes by Calvert. Flips it blindly up and in. Tremendous shot by Rochelle for his fourth one. 52-32. Graumeyer in front court on the right side. Goes to the corner, whips out to Brewer in the pivot to Burrow. Fakes, gives to Graumeyer. Shot, no good. Nice rebound by Tim, who throws it back in. Harrison misses it, but picks it up. 52-32, as the teams have scored on even terms. Each team has scored 6 points after 4.5 minutes of the second half. Gibbs gets it, gives off to Taylor. He's open, shot good. 10-foot jump shot from the left side, and now Kentucky, faltering, wants timeout. Kentucky went into a 52-26 lead, 52-28 lead, and Vanderbilt has cut in 3 straight field goals. So the Wildcats take timeout to adjust the defense. Let us take 10 seconds for station identification. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.
WVLK, Lexington, Kentucky. It's 3 minutes past 9 o'clock.
There are 15 minutes, 18 seconds of playing time here at the Coliseum in Lexington. Kentucky 52, Vanderbilt 24. The Commodores have outscored Kentucky in the second half of play, which saw Kentucky twice go into a 24-point lead, but at the moment has had 6 points cut off of it and has, at the moment, holding on at 18. It is a Kentucky timeout, the second timeout of the game for each team. Burrow has picked up 2 field goals, and Bird 1 for Kentucky in this half of play. Babe Taylor is talking with one of the officials as we get ready to go back to play. Kentucky has it under the Vanderbilt basket. For Johnny Brewer, the only substitution Adolph Rupp has made tonight, stands waiting to get the ball and put it in play to Jerry Calvert. Drawing the palms of his hands on the padding of the basket, he gets it, and right back to Brewer. In that long, loping stride, he moves up in front court. Down the left side to Burrow. Calvert threatened to go through, and he was cut off. Passes out to Brewer over to Bird on the weak side. He moves. Gibbs cuts him off from a drive. He gives to Calvert, wide open, lays it in. Calvert cutting down the middle to pick up his third field goal and make it 54-34. And at this moment, each team has scored 8 points in the second half. We've played 6 minutes. Here's a jump shot. Good by Babe Taylor. And now Taylor, the Frankfort, Kentucky star, has begun to operate with 2 quick outside shots, 54-36. Brewer back in front court for Kentucky. Down the left side to Bird. Graumeyer goes through and gets it. Flips outside to Bird. He sets, and a 30-footer is short. Rebounding, Babe Taylor of Vanderbilt. Kentucky seems to be weakening right at this moment, but let's see how it turns out. They have quit running. Here's Taylor driving to the right, pulls up, and there it goes. Short. Graumeyer rebounds, gets away from Harrison. Up to Bird, moving in with Calvert as the Cats go. Bird walks with it. Vanderbilt takes over on the side of the backcourt. Out of bounds is Babe Taylor. Bounce pass into Rochelle. Past the dividing line, he pumps it right back to Taylor. Into Gibbs on the double pivot to the right side. Looks behind him. Gives to Tim as he floats out of there. Takes the screen. Burrow shifts off on him, and the pass at the baseline is picked up by Rochelle, and he's fouled by Calvert. It is the third foul on Calvert. 13 minutes, 58 seconds to play as Al Rochelle of Vanderbilt goes to the free throw line. Rochelle has hit 2 out of 4. Kentucky has an 18-point advantage. Vandy has outscored Kentucky by 2 points in this second half. Here's the shot. Good. Bonus free throw to Tim now as Vernon Hatton is getting ready to check back into the Kentucky lineup. Here he comes. Hatton comes in at guard, replacing Johnny Brewer. So the starting 5 is back intact. Rochelle ready for his bonus shot. 13 minutes, 58 seconds to go as Bob Polk signals number 1 to the players. Tim hits, and it's 54-38. Kentucky leading Vanderbilt here at the Coliseum in Lexington. Hatton talking with Calvert, walking up the backcourt. Now Calvert past the dividing line, gets to Hatton, moving to the left. Burrow and Bird switch double pivot positions. Burrow gets it back out to Hatton. Hatton moves to the right. Graumeyer moves in. Pass over to Calvert. Down the weak side to Burrow on the right. Back to Graumeyer. 15-foot jump shots blocked by Harrison. And Gibbs and Hatton tie up on the rebound. Joe Gibbs at 6'6" has 3 inches height advantage for Vanderbilt on the Kentucky free throw line. Vanderbilt has outscored Kentucky 12-8 in the second half. Here's the tap by Gibbs to Rochelle. Moves up past the dividing line for the Commodores, over to Taylor. In the pivot, the pass goes to Gibbs again. Out to Tim, breaking to the right. Burrow shifts on him, and he cuts off. Bounce pass goes to Gibbs, knocked down and taken away by Bob Burrow, and Tim takes it away from Burrow, and it's knocked away by Bird, but an across-the-arms foul goes against Bob Burrow. It is Bob Burrow's 4th personal foul. So now Vanderbilt is back on even terms in that department. The 2 centers each have 4 fouls. Shooting, Tim of Vanderbilt. Tim has hit 2 out of 3. Drops it in and draws the bonus shot. 54-39. Kentucky continues to fade here in this half. The bonus shot is good, and it's 54-40 as Vanderbilt has moved within 14 points. Kentucky shows noticeable signs of being tired right now. Hatton in front court, moving to the left side. Picked up by Tim, spins back in and gives to Calvert. Calvert gives to Burrow. He takes out with a hook. No good. Rebounded by Gibbs of Vandy. Flipped over to Tim. And the Commodores are coming back in. Back is Al Rochelle for Vandy. Hands off to Taylor, moving to the left. In the pivot it goes to Tim. Graumeyer slams for it. Can't get to it. Tim looking for a man open. Fires it out to Rochelle. Over to Taylor. Overloading to the right. On the weak side, the passes to the left to Harrison. Whip to Gibbs, moving in. Spinning back to his right with a hook shot. Short. Rebounding Harrison. Wide open. Lays it in. So now it is 54-42, and Kentucky is getting into hot water, so they're going to take another timeout. It's their 3rd. Kentucky has fallen apart here in this second half after a torrid first half, which saw them roll out into a 20-point lead. Vanderbilt has slowly and methodically banged away at them. Starting the second half, Burrow hit a crib shot, and then Bird hit a set shot to put Kentucky on top 50-26. And since then, Vanderbilt has outscored Kentucky by a margin of 16-4. The Commodores have made a tremendous run at them. Here are some late scores for you. Wake Forest has pulled quite an upset tonight over Maryland by 16 points. Wake Forest 76, Maryland 60. Wichita has defeated Detroit by 1 point. Wichita 85, Detroit 84. William and Mary tonight defeated Virginia Tech by 5 points. William and Mary 79, VPI 74. And Washington and Lee routed the Citadel tonight. Washington and Lee 91, the Citadel 54. Kentucky has the ball as we get ready to go back to play, but the Wildcats' 24-point lead has been cut in half as Vanderbilt has outscored Kentucky 16-4. 12 minutes, 27 seconds to go as Calvert gets the ball coming in from Hatton and walks up the back court. Hatton yelling to him, come on, let's go, and Calvert breaks into a trot. Down the right side to Graumeyer. Calvert goes through. Graumeyer feeds out to Hatton. Hatton off the left side with a long pass to Bird, who fakes to break. Tim backed away, and he gives to Burrow. Spins out with a hook. Good. So Bob Burrow, with his 9th field goal of the game, breaks the scoring drought, and Kentucky leads by 56-42. Rochelle in front court, breaks to the right with Hatton on him, drives him to the corner. He gives wide open under the basket to Babe Taylor, who lays in his 6th field goal. 56-44. As Kentucky's defense is not quite as aggressive as it was in the first half. Bird on the left side, fakes to break, pulls up, gives out front to Calvert. Calvert waving Hatton toward him, moves away and gives back to Bird. In the pivot to Burrow, goes under, wide open, lays it in, hooking it back over his head. Burrow puts Kentucky on top 58-44. Babe Taylor races back in front court for Vandy now. Pulls it up over his head, gives to Rochelle as Hatton switches off on him. Moving down, cutting inside, Graumeyer knocks it down. Rochelle holds on and feeds it out front to Tim to Taylor. In the pivot, it goes to Gibbs on the left side. Out to Rochelle at the free throw line with Bird on him, spinning right. He's pulled up, can't shoot. Gives it to Tim. Graumeyer stabs for it, misses, breaks in, and Tim can't shoot again. Tim has twice gone into the air for a shot, been unable to get it away, and been called for walking. Calvert feeds to Hatton. In front court to Bird on the left side. Back to Hatton moving in. Out to Grawemeyer. Fakes a shot, gives to Hatton. Hatton moving to the right. Going down the right side to the baseline. Rochelle knocks it down. Hatton recovers, gives to Burrow. Out front to Calvert. Calvert moving to the left with a pass to Bird. Bird looks for Burrow, then takes a set shot over him. No good. Grawemeyer knocks the rebound down, and Hatton scoops it up. Gives to Grawemeyer. Out to Calvert. Wide open free throw line shot. No good. Burrow taps. Harrison rebounds for Vandy. 10.5 minutes in the ball game. Kentucky 58, Vanderbilt 44. Taylor to Rochelle, who skips in front court to avoid an over and back situation. In on the right side of the double pivot to Gibbs. Down the right side to Taylor. Quick 20-foot jump shot's no good. Bounces off the rim. Harrison, a beautiful tap over the head of Grawemeyer. Harrison gets his third field goal of the game. It is 58-46 with 10 minutes to play. Vanderbilt outscoring Kentucky badly through this mid-portion now. Here's Hatton at the top rim of the circle. Left open. Moves to the right with Gibbs on him. Draws Harrison to him. Fakes to Calvert. Gives to him coming out. Calvert moves out. Burrow on the top rim of the circle. Now Kentucky sets it up off the left to Bird. High pass to Burrow in the pivot. Fakes to break. Pulls up. Comes out with a hook. Good. Bob Burrow has 11 field goals as Kentucky leads 60-46. But Kentucky has not had that fast break operating in this second half, which built up so much of that first half lead. Foul on Grawemeyer as he stabs for the ball at Tim and misses, and it's the third one on Grawemeyer. Hatton and Burrow are each playing with 4, and Vanderbilt is calling the third timeout. Each team has called 3 times out. We have 9.5 minutes to play here at the Coliseum in Lexington. Well, this reminder that Saturday night, 7:45 broadcast time on these same stations, we'll be at the State Coliseum in Montgomery, Alabama, where Kentucky plays Alabama. And the Crimson Tide tonight is in Baton Rouge playing Louisiana State. If they win, they remain undefeated for the Kentucky game this Saturday night. 1 week from tonight, Kentucky plays Georgia at the Armory in Louisville. Broadcast time there will be 8:15. We understand that they're giving a field goal to Gibbs, but it was Taylor that gave it. So it's going to be the other way around, but Gibbs definitely did not get it. So we'll leave it the way it was. We're ready to go back to play now. The Commodore's Bobby Tim is at the free throw line. He's hit 4 out of 5. Kentucky has a 14-point lead. As Tim fires, good. Tim on the line for a bonus shot. 9 minutes and 31 seconds to play. It's good. Kentucky 60, Vanderbilt 48. Calvert moving up the back court. Vanderbilt has already scored more points than they did in the entire first half, as Kentucky's defense has relaxed considerably. Hatton from the outside misses. Grawemeyer taps. Burrow taps. Good. Bob Burrow now has 6 field goals in each half. Kentucky 62, Vanderbilt 48. Taylor in front court moving to the right, still out deep with it. Pulls up, gives to Rochelle. Fakes left, comes right. Hatton switches off on him, and here's a foul called. It's number 5 on Vernon Hatton. So Vernon Hatton fouls out of the ball game with 9 minutes and 3 seconds to play. He has 10 points, all in the first half on 5 field goals where he missed 3 free throw opportunities. Here's another Big Ten score. Iowa has upset Indiana, or has defeated Indiana, rather, tonight by a margin of 4 points. Iowa 87, Indiana 83. Al Rochelle at the Vanderbilt free throw line for 1. The right-hander pushes it up short. Under the rim, he missed everything, so Kentucky puts it in play off the side of the backcourt. Johnny Brewer has replaced Vernon Hatton at guard, as Hatton becomes the first man to foul out. Burrow still playing with 4 personals, as is Harrison of Vanderbilt. Here's Grawemeyer getting it on the right side. Looks for Burrow in behind Gibbs. Gibbs to him. He lays it up and in. Burrow now has 13 field goals as Kentucky leads 64-48. Gibbs gets it on the right side of the double pivot for Vandy. Tim wobbles through, and Gibbs shoots. Good. That is the first field goal in the ball game by Joe Gibbs. 64-50. Kentucky leads with 8.5 minutes to play. Calvert in front court, keeps coming inside Brewer and gives to Gromeyer, who weaves, and Rochelle knocks an intended pass to Brewer out of bounds. Kentucky puts it in play on the right side of the offensive court. Brewer to Calvert. Calvert moving to his left, gives to Bird on the side. Under there, it goes to Burrow. He's off on the left side about 6 or 7 feet. High outside pass to Brewer, who leaps, hauls it in, and feeds Bird on the side. Bird goes to the corner, down the baseline by Tim, out to Burrow. Shot, no good. Kentucky had no rebounding strength on the left side, and Babe Taylor plucked it off. Feeds over to Rochelle, who strides back in front court. Kentucky's lead, 14 points, 6 less than at halftime. Taylor moves down the left side and shoots over Calvert short. Bird rebounds, hooks it to Johnny Brewer, who didn't go through with a fast break. Walks up in front court. Burrow in there with Gibbs on him now, gets a high pass. Tim moves under him. Burrow moves out, comes back, double team, hooks, misses. Bird taps, no good. And rebounding Harrison of Vanderbilt. He walked with it. Harrison couldn't get the ball down for the dribble as he got it locked up in his left elbow, and Kentucky gets it back out of bounds. Kansas State has swamped Nebraska tonight, 23 points. Kansas State 73, Nebraska 50. Final score there. Kentucky 64, Vanderbilt 50. We got 7 minutes, 10 seconds to go as number 10, Calvert, down the middle, misses a crip shot, and a foul has been called against Joe Gibbs of Vanderbilt, his third one. Tim and Taylor committed 3 fouls early in the game and have not committed one since. 64 to 50 as Calvert goes up for 2 tries. He's hit 3 out of 4. Burrow's been the big man for Kentucky tonight. Calvert misses. Another one coming. 7 minutes, 7 seconds to play. Bill Cassidy sitting next to Adolph Rupp on the Kentucky bench as Calvert misses again. Gibbs hooks in a nice rebound. Over to Babe Taylor, who moves in front court with it. To Al Rochelle. To Harrison, out front to Taylor. As we go into the last 7 minutes, Tim gets it on the left side of a double pivot. A bounce pass to Rochelle. He moves in, and a foul is called against Gromeyer. And that is number 4 on the 6'8 forward. So Gromeyer and Burrow are both in there with 4 now. Vanderbilt remains in this ball game strictly on free throws. Kentucky doesn't have a 1 in this second half. They've had only 2 tries. Al Rochelle at the Commodore free throw line again. He got it. Vanderbilt has 8 field goals in each half. Bonus shot good by Rochelle. They've picked up 20 free throws. Kentucky has only 10. So they've knocked off by those free throws 5 of Kentucky's field goals. 64 to 52. Kentucky has only a 12-point lead now. Johnny Brewer stands tom-tomming the ball out deep. Babe Taylor letting him alone. Now moves to him, and Brewer feeds over to Calvert. Back to Brewer. Kentucky slowing the pace of the game way down now. On the left side to Bird. Burrow moves in. Bird feeds out to Brewer. He's got Gibbs on him. They've taken Harrison off of Burrow. Passes over to Bird. Kentucky playing it at a walking pace now. Calvert has it. Taylor stabbing for it. Calvert starts dribbling, moving to the left, giving to Brewer. Brewer, double team, pulls up. Hooks out to Jerry Calvert. Calvert with Taylor on him. Moves to the left now, then backs away. 6 minutes in the ball game. Calvert moves in, feeds Bird, pulls up in the left corner, fakes, Tim cuts him off. He moves up the side, hooks a pass to Burrow. He feeds out to Calvert. Waiting to come in for Calvert now is Jimmy French. Here's Bird hooking to Brewer, out to Calvert. As Kentucky plays keep away. Bird on the left side with it, feeds to a bad pass to Johnny Brewer, and Rochelle comes in and cuts it off, takes a jump shot, no good. Calvert rebounds, and Adolph Rupp comes off the bench yelling. Here's Burrow, gets it. Tim goes for him, can't do it. Burrow lays it in. Vanderbilt wants timeout as Kentucky goes on top, 66 to 52. Babe Taylor sees the signal from the bench and calls timeout number 4 for the Commodores as little Jimmy French comes in for Vandy. He's only 5'7", weighs 160 pounds. He's a 20-year-old sophomore from Nashville, the only hometown boy on the team. As a matter of fact, he's the only boy from Tennessee on the Vanderbilt team. He is number 7 in scoring with an average of 2.6. He scored 41 points this season. We now have 5 minutes and 21 seconds to play. Kentucky 66, Vanderbilt 52. In the first half, we saw Kentucky completely sweep the Commodores off the floor with a 46 to 26 advantage on the scoreboard at halftime. But Vanderbilt has come back to outplay him in the second half. and has outscored them so far by a margin of 6 points. As Kentucky's lead right now, after twice being to 24 points, is down to 14. The Commodores went through one streak here in the second half where they outscored Kentucky by 16-4. Burrow tonight has 14 field goals, which is only 5 shy of his record when he got 19 against LSU and racking up those 50 points. So 5'7" Jimmy French, 20-year-old sophomores in the Vanderbilt lineup at guard, and Babe Taylor, 34%. Those are your final shooting percentages. Bob Burrow leads all scorers with 34 points. The next closest man to him was Al Rochelle, who was 20 points away. Well, we'd like to thank our guests, Dean Terrell of the College of Engineering here at the university, and Peck Hickman at the University of Louisville. Louisville moved to third place in the AP poll tonight, and Vanderbilt rated number 5, Kentucky number 8. And it'll be Kentucky and Alabama, the number 7 team, playing Saturday night. Well, you have the highlights now on what could be the last Kentucky-Vanderbilt game this season. We'd like to thank our engineer, Larry Runyon, of Lexington radio station WVLK. And this invitation for you to tune in again Saturday night when Standard Oil Company and Standard Oil dealers throughout Kentucky, Alabama, Florida, Georgia, and Mississippi will bring you the SEC Game of the Year between Kentucky and Alabama at Montgomery. Read and heed all traffic signs. They help save both lives and fines. The National Safety Council reminds you traffic signs are signs of life to the driver who respects them. Safe drivers make safe highways. Now this is Claude Sullivan speaking from Memorial Coliseum on the campus of the University of Kentucky in Lexington, wishing you good night. Your final score again, Kentucky 76, Vanderbilt 55. This is the Standard Oil Sports Network.